He is Shawn Ford. He is the superintendent of the Purchase Line School District, and he's on the line with us here this morning. Our conversation is brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Todd.
It's good to have you with us here once more as we talk about things within the school district. And I know that you had a school board meeting last night. Any big highlights come out of that we need to be aware of?
Not yet. No, not yet. We're starting to get into the business of looking toward next year already and looking at staffing and positions and everything. We did fill our new junior high baseball, softball. We have our coaches, and the meeting's actually next week, so we had our committee meeting last night.
Yeah.
So no, just a lot of business. As usual, we had a lot of discussion. We had some discussion last night, but no, that's kind of where we're at. We're looking at, have a group come in and look at our track. We have to look and see what we have to do to, our track is at that point now that we need to look at, what we need to do to get it fixed up, and we kind of been patching it. So there was quite a bit on there, but nothing in particular.
What's the shelf life on one of those tracks?
It just depends. It can be 15 to 20 to 25, depending. That's when they put it in new. Mm-hmm. It just depends on how much you want to spend, and so they have there's different levels. And so what we're doing right now is we have a company coming in. They'll go down, see what the base layer is like to make sure that we don't need to do anything at the base layer. There's no sense putting something on. And so we're going to make sure we do a pretty good feasibility study on it before we embark on the actual project.
I think that's one of the unsung parts of what it is to run a school district is the routine maintenance types of things, the things that not only you have to continually be checking and things of that nature and the basic, go into the bathrooms and make sure all the faucets are running, those sorts of things. And then there are the bigger ticket items like are we wired correctly for technology? Do we have enough hot spots around the building, which are some of the newer things that you have to be concerned with?
No, absolutely. And one of the things the board did approve last night was we're going after what's called E-rate funding, and that helps us put those the hot spots and helps us put cabling in throughout the schools and upgrading our fiber lines. So the nice thing is that we do get most of that funded. It's an 80-20, so if we get the funding and we get approved, the E-rate, through that E-rate they pay 80%, and then we take on. So we're constantly looking at those. I mean, we're looking right now. We're looking at water tanks right now, and mm-hmm. So we're constantly every year we do a list, and we just kind of follow that list of things from a maintenance schedule. And so no, it's an ongoing process from year to year for sure.
All right, so pretend you're a kid looking in the candy store window, and you see people like say Armstrong putting up their new palace over there, and Richland put up a new school about 5 or 10 years ago that it's absolutely gorgeous, and you have to look at that and say, nothing like that is happening around here. We're perfectly content to stay with what we have. We might have a big wish list, but we can't see that kind of an expenditure, can you?
No, we don't. We never will. I mean, we have a beautiful elementary. It was upgraded I think 2012, and it's a very nice school. But I always say this, that you can have all the neat and the pretty things and the latest gadgets, but at the end of the day, it's still about your culture and your buildings. It's about how well we treat kids and the relationships that are formed. But saying that, we are very aggressive out here with grant writing, and we go after any and every grant to try to bring the facilities up to par as best we can. So we are aggressive in our grant writing, and we will continue to do that to try to upgrade. And so, but no, it is what it is. We're very content. That's part of our rural school, and we're not going to compare ourselves to those other schools.
I know one other thing that school districts such as yours contend with is some of the outside educational obligations that you have. The errand operating budget, for instance, is something that shows up on budgets at this time of the year. It won't be long before we'll be hearing about the ICTC budget and how that is a part of what you're doing as well. Those are pretty important educational options, though, aren't they?
Yes, we do quite a few services through our IU. We have some positions out here that we go through and we partner with them. ICTC, I think we're sending right around 40 students right now in there, and so no, especially with the way the world is changing, I think ICTC definitely gives our students opportunities in areas that we don't have here, and so no, they're very important for the overall plan of attack of what we can provide students for sure.
Shawn Ford is with us. He's the superintendent of the Purchase Line School District. Board met last night, and they'll have their regular voting meeting coming up next Monday. As you look into the next couple of months, and we make the transition from winter eventually into spring, I know the sports schedules will become a part of the conversation as we transition into outdoor sports once more. But it is also an opportunity for the kids themselves to get outside when the weather turns warmer, and I know the teachers look forward to that as well, because there's a lot to learn just by walking out the front door.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. We have nice grounds here. We have access to, and so we have science. We have science classes to go out and do work. We have a really nice at the elementary school. We have a inside area that students can go, and we have and it's a really nice area, and teachers will take their class even, and it's still contained within the school, so it's like a courtyard within the school. We have a nice pre-K area out back that we got through grant funding. So, in addition to the playground equipment, but absolutely, it's nice. It'll be nice to be able to get outside. January was a rough month weather-wise.
Oh, yeah, especially the last 2 weeks of it.
Oh, my goodness. Yes.
My goodness gracious. All right. Well, that being the case, some school districts, and yours is one of them, have the capability to at times choose to do a remote learning day as opposed to taking a full-fledged snow day. And I know that is a part of what Purchase Line is doing now, and it's a great educational advantage, isn't it?
Absolutely. We didn't have that prior to COVID, and so that's been a whole new development. And so, and we've gotten, from where we were at 2 years ago when we began this process to where we're at now, we've made great strides in how we execute that. Heard the last remote day we had a lot of positive feedback from parents. So I think we've grown, and we have a much better plan of attack than what we used to have. Saying that, we missed a day Friday. We did a traditional snow day Friday. So we still have a couple of snow days built in, and so we'll do a combination of those. But no, that's a great option. And quite frankly, that's where the world's going. They're estimating that 50% of the workers are going to be working at home some coming up on computers, and so not only is it's good for our future, and if you go to college now, a lot of college classes are online. So I think that's the direction. So I think it's a great training ground for our students too. So
I checked it out, and people in Florida, no snow days this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
They might have other weather days, though, that we don't have to contend with up here. As we look forward to the final couple of weeks of this winter and then move on into the spring, what are some of the things that you hope to see happen at Purchase Line?
I think the big thing is this is a time of planning. So we want to close the school. We really want to work hard to close the school year out on a positive note here. We got a lot of activities coming up. We have we have our play coming up. We have our concerts in May coming up, and then we have all the sports